Chapter 11. Go ahead. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dean Su, Vice Dean, and Yan Hua all stiffened. What Xuanhuan thought of, they also thought of. In the middle stage of 1 star, it has the strength to match the peak of 2-star warriors. This is a real genius. In the 600 years since the founding of Funwu Kingdom, the chances of such a genius appearing are 1 in 10,000. I am Nima. I seem to have fired Su Ba just now. Dean Su's body was shocked, and his expression was stunned. The better the students that the academy trains, the more funds Feng Wuguo will allocate in the coming year. However, after being expelled, there is nothing to do with the original academy. Thinking of this, Dean Su suddenly felt a little unstable under his feet, and his head was a little fluttering. Immediately thinking of something, his face darkened instantly, and he looked at Yan Hua on the side. You bastard, Tetsu's proposal to fire Su Ba at the beginning seems to have been made by you first. Feeling Dean Su's murderous gaze, Yan Hua's back suddenly felt a chill. What are you trying to say? This time. Suddenly, an unwilling roar came from below. No. It's impossible. Su Ba's data is definitely wrong. I don't believe that he has such strength. That everyone looked back, but when he saw the crowd, Wang Quan came out step by step, his eyes were red, and he looked at Su Ba with a face full of unwillingness. Yes, Dean, the assessment room has not been maintained for several years, and is preparing to maintain it after the assessment this year. Maybe when it is Su Ba's turn, the data just happens to be abnormal. Yan Hua's eyes lit up and immediately said to President Su, is that so? When President Su heard this, his expression softened slightly. This is not impossible. Also, he was a little bit unconvinced that the last in his grade all year round suddenly became the #1 counterattack. Ha. At this moment, Su Ba suddenly smiled faintly. He put his hands on his back, turned to look at Wang Quan below, and said indifferently. There are always some people who think they are superior, and when they find out that the results are not satisfactory, they doubt this one and the other. In the end, he is just a frog at the bottom of the well, and he will never know how powerful others are. What did you say? Wang Quan's face flushed with blood, and then he pointed at Su Ba and said viciously. Su Ba, you bastard, it took only 3 years to break through a small realm. Don't pretend to force me, come down and fight me one-on-one. Don't you have 99 points? Let me see how my 91 points slap you over. On the ground. Sorry, you don't deserve it. Su Ba looked calm, and said in a condescending tone, what? I do not deserve. Wang Quan's anger surged, he forgot the occasion, and was about to rush up to beat Su Ba. Su Ba, right? At this time, a deep voice came from the high platform. After seeing who was talking, Wang Quan, who was originally furious, was like a basin of cold water was poured from the top of his head. The anger suddenly decreased a lot. He just clenched his fists and stood there staring at Su Ba. After Xuanhuan, the admissions deacon of Yunmeng Wufu, called out, he slowly took a few steps forward with an indifferent expression, folded his arms around his chest, and looked at Su Ba Dao who came over. You, played with him. Hearing this, Su Ba raised his brows. He understood that the adults who wanted to come to Yunmeng Wufu also had some doubts about his level. At this time, when Wang Quan, the strongest in the 3rd grade, came out to challenge him, he pushed the boat and let Su Ba and Wang Quan compete. As long as he wins, then it's not the assessment room's problem, it's that Su Ba really has strength. And Yunmeng Wufu is the most powerful Wufu in Funwu Kingdom, with the best martial arts skills and teachers. Su Ba's first target is naturally the Yunmeng Wufu. There are many masters in it, all of them are the best of the younger generation. The competition is fierce, there is no strongest, only stronger. Thinking about it makes Su Ba boil with fighting intent. Okay, I see. Su Ba nodded calmly, then turned around and looked at Wang Quan with a grim smile on his face. Su Ba jumped off the high platform with a big stride, came to Wang Quan, and said lightly. Go ahead anyway. Chapter 12. The Monstrous Regret. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Arrogant, see how I kill you. Wang Quan was ready for a long time, shouted angrily, his body suddenly moved, and when he reached out and grabbed it, he grabbed it towards Su Ba's throat. Hey! The air seemed to be cracked at once, and there was a piercing screeching sound. As a genius martial artist in the late two-star stage, Wang Quan was angry, and his explosive power directly exceeded the maximum strength of the assessment, reaching 1,200 genes. Under this grasp, a piece of hardwood can be crushed in an instant, not to mention the fragile throat of the human body. Wang Quan, I'm so angry. Being despised by a piece of crap again and again, this is something he can't bear to be arrogant in his heart. In this case, although he did not dare to kill Su Ba, he had to abolish Su Ba directly, so that even a martial artist could not do it. Amazing! Below, hundreds of third-grade students watching the battle couldn't help but exclaimed in surprise. This kind of speed, this kind of power, these people are estimated that they are not very able to resist. This Su Ba is definitely going to be abolished. On the high platform, the admissions deacon of each martial house, Dean Su, Vice Dean of the Magic Knight Academy, and Yan Hua, the third-year chief instructor, all watched this scene without blinking. Whether Su Ba's score is real or wrong is immediately obvious. Seeing that Wang Quan's claws were about to come to him, Su Ba was still standing there motionless. Dean Su and Yan Hua couldn't help but sneer in their hearts. Oh, I guess it's terrifying. Waste wood, always waste wood. Xia Hang, the admissions deacon of Yunmeng Wufu, narrowed his eyes and his body was slightly tense, ready to rescue Su Ba at any time. Since it was his proposal, he naturally wouldn't let Wang Quan abolish Su Ba, but the next second. Xia Hang's eyes flashed a ray of light. Immediately. Everyone sees it. Just when Wang Quan's claws were about to grab Su Ba's throat, that Su Ba raised his hand and came first. The outstretched right hand grabbed Wang Quan's throat like lightning. Next up. Wang Quan's body seemed to be swept away by a force, and Su Ba lifted his whole body like a chicken. Boom. A loud bang. Wang Quan's body crashed to the ground, splashing a large amount of dust. Pfft! A mouthful of blood spurted out of Wang Quan's mouth. He was lying on the ground with a startled look on his face, just raised his head, ready to get up. Before he could react, a big foot landed in the air. Pong! Stepping directly on Wang Quan's face, the raised head, the back of the head immediately made a heavy contact with the ground. Wang Quan, his eyes widened. Snort! Immediately passed out. All this happened so fast. From Wang Quan's shot, to Su Ba's counterattack, in the end Wang Quan fell to the ground and was stunned by 1 foot. Just a few breaths. Watch this scene. On sight, the atmosphere instantly froze. This Wang Quan was killed by Su Ba, in seconds. The many students below look at me, I look at you, shocked. Jiang Luan opened her mouth blankly, her mind blank. This is impossible. The third-year chief instructor Yan Hua took a few steps back, his whole body seemed to be petrified, and his face was incredible. Impossible. I must be hallucinating. Yan Hua murmured to himself, Pa. And gave himself a slap in the face. Look again. In front, Wang Quan was still lying on the ground like a dead dog. Boom. Yan Hua sat on the ground unconsciously, his face pale and his lips trembling. How could this be? This Su Ba, who has not improved his realm for 10,000 years, is simply useless. How could he be so strong? If I had known his strength earlier, how could I have proposed to expel him? This. On the high platform, Dean Su's body trembled, and he stuttered for a while. Next up. A monstrous remorse suddenly poured out of my heart. Chapter 13 Deacons vying for the first place. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah! A genius among geniuses was expelled from him just now. Comparing Wang Quan with Su Ba, what a shit. Such a genius, graduating from their academy, will definitely be rewarded by Funwu Kingdom in the coming year. But now, like a flower in a mirror, no reward has anything to do with him. Shock, anger, regret. Various emotions are constantly intertwined in Dean Su's heart. He turned his head to look at Xuanhuan, who was sitting on the ground. His eyes were fierce, and he wanted to slap this girl to death now. It's all this bastard who kept encouraging him before. Saying that Su Ba is a piece of waste wood, is simply a doe who can't help it, saying that this kind of waste wood is an insult to the profession of a warrior, and he is not worthy of becoming a warrior. Excuse your sister. If Su Ba is not worthy, you are even less worthy, you stupid beep. This time. Many students below were shocked and speechless for a moment, as if some fuse was ignited, and a shocking noise broke out. Ah, I remember, Su Ba has been silent for 3 years since he entered school, and he doesn't retaliate when he is laughed at. He looks very cowardly, but he doesn't seem to have played a single hand. It's really like this. I remember that Su Ba seemed to like a girl before. He worked tirelessly to run errands for girls every day, and often gave girls things. I guess he spent all his training money on this. It's no wonder that there has been no progress in cultivation. It turns out that money and energy are spent on others. Hee, that girl's name is Xuanhuan. I know her, she's good-looking, but she's charming, she hangs up several men. You know what's ridiculous, Su Ba pays so much for her, but she's still the worst spare tire. That girl is really blind. I'm going, a super genius was almost destroyed by her, but now it seems that this Su Ba has awakened. That the noisy voice kept echoing in the martial arts hall. Xuanhuan was in the crowd, listening to the discussions around her, motionless, her beautiful eyes sluggish. Now she doesn't know what's in her heart, she wants to cry and laugh, but most of all, regret. It turned out that the one who was the worst in her opinion was the best. She was really blind, and Xuanhuan on the high platform, listening to the surrounding voices, finally understood why Su Ba had not been improving in the past 3 years. It turned out that it wasn't that Su Ba's talent was poor, but that he didn't spend too much time, energy, and money on cultivation. Xuanhuan slumped on the ground, with deep regret in his heart. If Su Ba was still a student under his command, and Su Ba graduated as a genius and entered the martial arts residence, his chief instructor would also have great benefits. Good, very good. I didn't expect to meet a real genius this time at Huanyi Academy. That at this time, an uninhibited laughter came from the high platform, suppressing all the messy discussions around. Everyone looks back. But he saw that Xia Heng took a step forward and looked at Su Ba Dao with burning eyes. Su Ba, right? I'm Xia Heng, the admissions deacon of Yunmeng Wufu. Here, I specially invite you to come to my Yunmeng Wufu. How's it going? But there is never a shortage of talent in the market. The other martial arts admissions deacons saw that Xia Heng didn't even finish the assessment, yet they took the initiative to recruit students. You know, usually they sit firmly on the Jiuyue, the assessment is over, the students come to sign up, and they are screened one by one with a high-level look. But this man is Su Ba. A rare genius-level warrior. Everyone else has spoken. If they are still sitting on the Jiuyue, the fish will be gone by then, and they will be fishing for a fart. Immediately. These people can't sit still. One by one, they stood up from their seats and rushed to greet Su Ba. Chapter 14 I Choose Yunmeng Wufu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before the person arrived, the words had already spread out quickly. Is it Su Ba? I'm the admissions deacon of Mujiang Wufu. I really hope you come to our Wufu. Su Ba, I am the admissions deacon of the Great Thousand Martial House in Yiyecheng. Although Yiyecheng is a little far from Funwu City, as long as you are willing to go, I can apply for additional rewards with Wu House. That's right, Su Ba, as long as you come to our Wufu, whatever conditions you have, you can open it. We will satisfy you as much as possible. Su Ba, Yunmeng Wufu is good, but there are too many geniuses, too much competition, and the pressure is not something ordinary people can bear. You can consider coming to our Huai Wufu. The role of the admissions deacon is to represent their respective martial houses and go to various colleges to recruit new disciples. If the disciples recruited are of high quality, they will naturally receive some rewards from the Wufu. Therefore, for talented students, even if Yunmeng Wufu is the top Wufu in the country, it is very attractive to students. They will not give up robbing people. After all, a powerful military mansion is attractive, but it is full of strong competitiveness in itself. You must know that the resources of Wufu disciples are related to their rankings. That is to say, the higher your ranking, the more cultivation resources you will get, and vice versa, the less. If you are a genius, if you are a new student entering a martial arts palace, if you enter an ordinary martial arts palace, then you can make your ranking soar in a short period of time, and the resources you get will also soar. Improve your strength faster. However, if you enter a top martial arts mansion, such as Yunmeng Martial Arts Mansion, you are a genius, but other people's martial arts mansion is also a genius, and it is very difficult to catch up in a short period of time. Generally, you can only wait for each graduation. After the strong ones in the front leave the martial arts palace, the latter will naturally improve their rankings a lot. In addition, the competition is great and the pressure is also great. Every year, the top martial arts palaces are under too much pressure, and the heart of the martial arts is finally broken. It is also common for talented martial artists to give up martial arts. Therefore, although some talented warriors have the opportunity to enter Yunmeng Wufu, they will take the second place and go to other Wufu. There is a saying, I would rather be a chicken head than a phoenix tail. Instead of being a younger brother in a top martial arts mansion, it is better to go to another martial arts mansion to be the boss. Not only can the resources keep up, but the honor and face are still there. Wouldn't it be fun? The admissions deacons of these martial arts residences also have a bit of luck in their hearts. What if Su Ba is such a person? Soon. The other 31 martial arts admissions deacons expressed their willingness to recruit to Su Ba, and some listed a lot of benefits, eagerly waiting for Su Ba's answer. Below, hundreds of third-grade candidates were stunned. It was the first time they had seen such crazy admissions deacons. In their impression, shouldn't the adults of these martial houses all over the world be very cold? The expressionless face is in line with their temperament. Except for the adults of Yunmeng Wufu, why do everyone else treat Su Ba with a dog-licking attitude? The gap between this person is too great. Everyone wants to vomit blood. In their opinion, Su Ba should choose Huai Wufu or Mujiang Wufu. Although the strength of these two Wufu is not comparable to Yunmeng Wufu, it is not bad, and the treatment offered is very good. Combining the resources, the speed of cultivation is not much slower than going to Yunmeng Wufu. It can also avoid strong pressure and competitiveness, which is the best choice. Really? Under everyone's gaze, Su Ba smiled lightly. Well, I am very grateful to all the lords of Wufu for your warm invitation to me, especially the two adults of Huai Wufu and Mujiang Wufu, who also offered special treatment. What a martial artist needs most on the way to practice is all kinds of resources. To be honest, I am very moved, so, I choose Yunmeng Wufu. Boom! Hundreds of third graders below collapsed to the ground. Chapter 15 Fearless. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I wipe. You choose Yunmeng Wufu, you say it straight, and beep that the conditions of other Wufu are very exciting. Heart beating. The people below are speechless. And on the high platform, the two admissions deacons of Huai Wufu and Mujiang Wufu directly froze their smiles, and subconsciously looked at Su Ba and asked, why? Su Ba sneered. There was no hesitation at all, and he said lightly. The road of martial arts is to fight for life with the sky. Even if there are thorns and bumps ahead, I have nothing to fear. I practice martial arts in pursuit of the ultimate martial arts. What I want is pressure, and what I want is training, so I choose Yunmeng Wufu. What a fearless one. What a practice martial arts for the pursuit of the ultimate martial arts. This is the arrogance that a true genius martial artist should have. The moment Su Ba's voice landed, Xia Hang's eyes flashed brightly, and he praised happily. As the admissions deacon of Yunmeng Wufu, he also has his own arrogance. No matter how good Su Ba was, he couldn't be like other martial arts admissions deacons, promising all kinds of benefits, licking his face and asking Su Ba to join the martial arts. First, his self-esteem as a 5-star martial artist can't be achieved, and secondly, Yunmeng Wufu is not lacking in talent, and will not make any promises. Originally, although he was calm on the surface, he was actually worried that Su Ba would not be able to withstand the temptation given by the deacons of other martial arts, and chose another martial arts. After all, young people, in the face of all kinds of temptations at your fingertips, it is also possible to have insufficient concentration. Before, I thought that Su Ba would choose another martial house, but I was a little disappointed, but I didn't expect that Su Ba would choose their Yunmeng martial house in the end. Now listening to Su Ba's eloquent answer, Xuanhuan was completely relieved. The eyes that looked at Su Ba were full of satisfaction. At the same time, looking at the stunned admissions deacons of various martial arts residences, Xuanhuan unconsciously showed a smug smile on the corner of his mouth. Be dumbfounded. Confused. It's a waste of time. A true genius pursues the pinnacle of martial arts, so what competition and pressure are there to be afraid of? The mere temptation is not worth mentioning. Immediately, Xuanhuan took a step forward, stretched out his hand, and with a flash of white light, a black ink-like token appeared in his right hand, and handed it to Su Ba Dao. Su Ba, this is the freshman token of my Yunmeng Wufu. With this token, you can enter my Yunmeng Wufu to participate in the advanced assessment. Advanced assessment. Su Ba took the token and put it in his arms, then raised his head in confusion. A genial smile appeared on the corner of Xuanhuan's mouth, and said, yes, passing the admissions assessment only means that your basic potential is good, but it is not enough to enter my Yunmeng Wufu. So there is an advanced assessment. Advanced assessment, the test is the heart of the martial artist's martial arts. As you know, only a martial artist with a strong heart of martial arts will not die prematurely in the future of martial arts. Yunmeng Wufu, the warriors you want are all elites. Not only the potential, but also the heart of martial arts. Otherwise, even if you have good potential, but the heart of martial arts is not enough, Yunmeng Wufu will also be brushed down. Do you understand? Understood. Su Ba nodded calmly. Martial arts heart test. The thing he's not afraid of the most is the assessment of the heart of martial arts. Just based on what you said just now, I believe you, there is no problem. Xuanhuan patted Su Ba's shoulder with a smile, and said kindly, then you can go to Yunmeng Wufu to report. Yunmeng Wufu is also in Fengwu City, not very far from Huanai Academy, you should know. Okay, I know. Su Ba nodded. Not much to say after that. Su Ba walked out of the martial arts hall under the awe-inspiring gaze of hundreds of third-grade students with a calm expression on his back with his hands on his back. During this period, Jiang Luwan opened her mouth and seemed to want to say something. In the end, watching Su Ba's figure gradually fade away, he closed his mouth with a sullen face. Chapter 16 Dog Food for Roaring Dogs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yunmeng Wufu is located in the northeast corner of Fengwu City. It is 3 miles long from east to west and 1,000 steps wide from north to south. It is backed by Dalong Mountain. It is the largest building in Fengwu City other than the Imperial Palace. The distance from Magic Knight Academy is just over an hour's walk. If you are a carriage, the time will be even shorter. Fengwu City is the capital of Fengwu Kingdom. The 10-mile-long street is full of traffic and crowds, and it is extremely prosperous. Su Ba was walking on the way to Yunmeng Wufu, looking at the bustling scene around him. The ancient well in his heart had no waves, after all. In the previous life, as the #1 martial arts master in China, he wanted nothing, and he had never seen any spectacular scenery. The bustling scene here, in his opinion, is just like that. Suddenly, Su Ba's expression changed, and with a move with his right hand, he took out the pitch-black token from the storage space. I didn't take a good look just now, it seems now. The token is exquisite in style, and there are various fine lines around it. It is not easy to imitate at first glance. The 2 words of domineering and domineering are also engraved in the middle of the token, Yunmeng. It's still a little heavy. Suba raised his eyebrows, put the token in his palm and weighed it, this time. Didi. A piece of high-quality black iron token, you can get 100 reinforcement points if you recycle it. Do you want to recycle it? Yes. This token actually has 100 enhancement points, it seems very strange. Suba subconsciously muttered to himself, and then he realized something in an instant, his face changed greatly, and he said anxiously in his mind. System, don't recycle, don't. However, the moment Suba's thoughts turned to, yes, it was already too late. White light flashes. I saw that the token in Suba's hand disappeared out of thin air. Looking at it again, on the attribute interface, there are 100 more reinforcement points. My day. Suba's face turned black at that time. Isn't this bullshit? This is good, the token is gone, how can I go to Yunmeng Wufu? Seeing that it was about to reach Yunmeng Wufu, and such a dramatic thing happened, Suba couldn't even laugh or cry. Brain speed is too fast, not very good. What should we do now? Suba froze in place. It is unrealistic to go back, not to mention that this token is very precious. If it is gone, it will be blamed by Deacon Xuanhuan, and if it is not found, it will be said twice. After all, these Wufu deacons should still have a few stops to enroll in other colleges. Never mind. Since we are about to arrive at Yunmeng Wufu, let's go there first. When the time comes, I will sign up for the number myself, and then honestly admit that the token was accidentally lost. If you want to come to Yunmeng Wufu, there is a special way to contact Deacon Xuanhuan, and you should be fine after confirming. Suba nodded, and he had no choice but to do so first. Looking at the 100 enhancement points on the attribute interface, Suba faintly felt a little dazzling. Now that it has been recycled, the 100 points of enhancement points are also put aside. Let's use them in the lottery. Immediately, Suba tentatively meditated in his heart. The lottery starts. Drip. Enhancement point minus 100, the lottery starts. Congratulations to the host, you have drawn a bag of dog food for the roaring dog under the seat of the ancient Xianjia Erlang Jinjuan. Snapped. A bag of white delicate woven bags was thrown into Suba's hand, the special dog food for the roaring dog under the ancient Xianjia constellation. Is that what fairy beasts eat exclusively? Suba's heart moved, and he was immediately disappointed. He doesn't have a roaring dog, what's the use of this dog food? Suba opens the white delicate woven bag. Not to mention, this taste is quite strange. Suba looked in amazement at the crystal clear, lustrous and attractive dog food in the bag, and he was attracted by the sweet smell. However, he suddenly realized that he was a human, not a dog, so he packed this thing with a dark face, and was about to put it in the storage space, this time. Shoo! Click! Suba only felt a white light flash in front of him. Then, he found something fluffy and got into his arms. Chapter 17 The Inexplicable Puppy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Suba's eyes suddenly flashed, and he stretched out his hand to grab the things on his body. However, next second. After seeing clearly what was in his arms, Suba was slightly startled, and the right hand that was about to move couldn't help but stop. In Suba's arms was a slap-sized puppy, whose fur was as white as jade, and radiated a hazy luster under the sunlight. The two eyes are as black as ink and watery, and they look very cute and spiritual, at this time. After this fluffy puppy got into Suba's arms, it puffed out its little nose and sniffed hard on Suba. Soon, it seemed to smell something, and a pair of black and shiny dog eyes suddenly lit up, staring closely at the delicate white woven bag that Suba was carrying. Wong Wong that he shouted excitedly at the white woven bag in Suba's hand, and then turned his head and barked at Suba twice. It seems to convey what it means. Suba was slightly startled. This puppy must have come running after smelling the special dog food for roaring dogs. In such a short time, it can smell the smell and run over. The dog's nose is really smart. In a trance, Suba felt that his arm was a little itchy. Looking down, he found that the fluffy puppy was pouting his little butt, fiddling with his cute limbs, and moving on his arms. The target is the white delicate woven bag. Thinking about it, it is estimated that he found that Suba ignored it, and the little guy couldn't help it, this little guy is really cute. Rao is Su Ba's calm heart and stern personality, and at this time, he can't help but be lovable by this little thing. It seems that this little thing wants to eat the dog food of the roaring dog. Su Ba pondered for a while, first grabbed the puppy and put it on the ground, then opened the white delicate woven bag, took a bit of dog food from it, put it in the palm of his hand, and tentatively stretched it out in front of the puppy. I don't know. The puppy immediately came over, sticking out his little tongue and eating all the dog food in Su Ba's right palm. Hiccuped. Although he only ate a little dog food, he seemed to have a great appetite for satiety, and the puppy burped indistinctly. There was a flash of light flashing across the puppy's body. I don't know if it's Su Ba's illusion, but I always feel that this puppy is a little bigger. After eating, the puppy actually turned his body in a humane way, with his feet upturned, his lovely limbs patted his belly, and his black and shiny dog eyes were full of intoxication. I go. This is like a girl killer. No, men and women, young and old, probably like it. Su Ba threw away the illusion just now, and couldn't help crouching down, smiling and reaching out to touch the head of this spiritual puppy. The puppy didn't refuse, and stuck out its little tongue to lick Su Ba's big hand with a docile look on his face. The more Su Ba looked at it, the more he liked it, and was wondering if he should bring it over to keep it for himself. After all, this little thing was brought to the door by himself, and he didn't know who it was. Xuanhuan, where are you? Why are you running so fast? This time, a beautiful female voice came from not far away, and then, a beautiful figure ran out of the alley. Xuanhuan. As if hearing the female voice, the intoxicated puppy lying on the ground rolled over, barked and wagged its tail. Ah, Xuanhuan, you are here, making me look good. That when the woman saw the puppy, she breathed a sigh of relief, and then ran over lightly. Su Ba looked up and was slightly startled. The long hair like silk and satin floated down like a waterfall, slender eyebrows, and a pair of beautiful eyes seduced the soul. The exquisite Yao nose, the peach cheeks are slightly red, the delicate cherry lips, the melon seeds as white as snow, the skin is as crisp as snow, and the body is graceful, which can be called the masterpiece of the Creator. The person who came, turned out to be a beautiful and beautiful woman. Chapter 18 Jiuyue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon. Xuanhuan, you were fine before, why are you so unruly today? If you continue to be like this in the future, I'll lock you up. The stunning woman came to the front, gently picked up the puppy, and clicked the puppy's forehead a little reproachfully. Xuanhuan seemed to understand. He lowered his small ears and let out a soft cry, arching in the stunning woman's arms like a coquettish girl. Okay, it's itchy, don't move. The stunning woman giggled and rubbed Xuanhuan's little head. Suddenly, the beautiful woman seemed to notice Su Ba standing in front of her. However, before she could say anything, Su Ba calmly nodded towards her and walked forward. Even though this woman was a rare and stunning beauty, after Su Ba glanced at it, her expression returned to clarity. For Su Ba, except for the pursuit of the pinnacle of martial arts, everything else is false. Women, wealth, and power. Everything is random. Since the puppy has an owner and the owner has come over, there is no need for him to stay. Xuanhuan. Looking at Su Ba's leaving back, Xuanhuan suddenly raised his head and let out a low cry. Jiuyue's beautiful eyes froze, and she glanced at Su Ba's back curiously. Xuanhuan is the cub of the king-level spirit beast, the white wolf Qin emperor dog, spirit beast realm 1-9, corresponding to martial artist 1-9. The quality is divided into ordinary, rare, king, emperor. King-level spirit beasts are born with a third-level strength, and their mature bodies are comparable to the acquired masters among martial artists. This kind of spirit beast has a strong vigilance against strangers, and most people will be severely warned by it when they approach. Why does Xuanhuan seem to have a good impression of this young man? Furthermore, Jiuyue is very clear about her beauty. Ordinary men can't resist it at all. Even if they don't look upright, they will sneak up on it. And this man just glanced at her and walked away. His expression was calm and unwavering. Jiuyue could see that Su Ba was not pretending to be calm in order to attract her attention, but was really calm, as if in his eyes, he was no different from ordinary people. This sun, cold, quite cool. Jiuyue raised her eyebrows and muttered to herself, then. When she found out the direction Su Ba was walking, Meimu was startled again. She remembered that there was only one place to go there, Yunmeng Wufu. This young master is born, shouldn't he be the new disciple of this session? Jiuyue blinked her beautiful eyes, stopped talking, and walked towards Yunmeng Wufu with Wang Wang in her arms. At this time, she has to go back. After a stick of incense, Su Ba stopped not far in front of the Yunmeng Wufu gate. Looking up, in the distance is a continuous building complex that is dozens of miles long, almost covering most of the Dalong Mountain, a row of spectacular and majestic sights. As expected of the top martial arts palace in Fengwu Kingdom, only Yunmeng Martial Arts Palace has such a spectacular sight. Su Ba let out a low sigh of admiration, thinking of the various challenges he will encounter after entering Yunmeng Wufu. His heart is full of fighting spirit. Without any hesitation, Su Ba walked towards the gate of Yunmeng Wufu. Not even a few steps closer. Who? This is Yunmeng Wufu. Idlers stop. In front of Yunmeng Wufu, there are two guards. One of the guards on the left with a rough face stepped forward and shouted at Su Ba. Hello, I am this class of graduates. I was selected by the admissions deacon of your residence and came to Yunmeng Wufu to participate in the advanced assessment. Su Ba's expression did not change, and he spoke in a neither humble nor arrogant manner. Take out the freshman token. The rough guard held out his hand expressionlessly. Well, I'm sorry, I accidentally lost the freshman token, but you can contact me. Stop. As soon as Su Ba opened his mouth, he was interrupted. The rough guard sneered, stretched out his hand and pointed to the distance, and spit out a word indifferently. Roll. Chapter 19 Garbage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So domineering. When Su Ba heard this, his face sank slightly. This gatekeeper has the strength of the late Samsung, almost comparable to Xuanhuan, the former chief instructor of the Magic Knight Academy. In a conflict, Su Ba will definitely not have the advantage. Besides, it was indeed his responsibility to lose the admission token. Thinking about it, Su Ba took a deep breath and said again peacefully. I am indeed here to participate in the advanced assessment. You can find out by contacting Deacon Xuanhuan. I told you to get out, didn't you hear? The rough guard looked unpleasant and waved his hands impatiently. Every year there are people like you who want to sneak into Wufu to visit. What is Yunmeng Wufu? Can a one-star spicy chicken like you come in? If you don't get out, believe it or not, I will beat you up. This guard was in a bad mood because he quarreled with his wife yesterday. Now, seeing a mid-1-star kid who still wants to enter Yunmeng Wufu, he just used it to scold and vent his anger. The slender guard on the right knew that the rough guard was in a bad mood, and even though he thought his words were unpleasant, he didn't stop him. In his opinion, a seemingly ordinary child with only 1-star midterm strength could not be selected by the Yunmeng Wufu admissions deacon. It's really a dog's eyes to see people low. Su Ba narrowed his eyes and said indifferently, since others don't give him a good face, why should he treat him politely? Boy, what did you say? The rough guard stared, and with a slap, half of the long sword in his hand was unsheathed, and the half of the unsheathed sword body exuded a cold light. Su Ba ignored this man. He walked to the side with an indifferent expression. There are many people in the world who are riddled with negative emotions. They need to find a place to dump them. Sometimes people just bump into them, and the garbage is thrown on people. From Su Ba's point of view, this rough mind guard is that kind of garbage man. Why does he have to talk to the trash man? Anyway, even if he can't get in now, the big deal is to wait here for Deacon Xuanhuan to come over, just in time to personally apologize for the loss of the token, groove. How dare you ignore him? The rough guard's eyes twitched faintly, and he was in a bad mood. At this moment, a burst of anger shot straight from his chest to his forehead. Spicy chicken, I told you to get out, you didn't hear it, did you? Get out of here. The rough guard strode forward, came to Su Ba, raised his big hand hideously, and attacked Su Ba. Laugh. There was a screeching sound in the air. Su Ba's expression froze. He didn't expect that this guard would be so mad and dare to do it on the streets of Fengwu City. But this is the end, Su Ba has no choice but to fight hard. 1-star midterm versus 3-star late game. I'm afraid of your dick. Su Ba's forehead bulged with blue veins, his Jiuyang true essence was running wildly, and he wanted to fight back. As long as he can resist this blow, with the fighting experience and fighting skills of his previous martial arts master, he may not be able to fight this ordinary guard. At this time. Shoo! Click! A white light flashed in front of Su Ba's eyes like lightning, and then he saw a small white thing slammed into the rough guard's chest, making a loud dong. What? The rough guard let out a painful cry, and he stepped back several steps, and then he sat on the ground. Wong wong wong. Wong. Wong wong. This little white thing turned out to be a puppy that was as white as jade. After it slammed into the rough guard and landed, its hind limbs were straight, and its front limbs were slightly bent, and it assumed a fighting stance. It showed sharp fangs at the rough guard and howled wildly. Chapter 20. I want to die, but I won't stop you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is Want. Seeing this, Su Ba couldn't help but startled slightly. The puppy in front of him was the size of a palm, and his hair was as white as jade. Under the sunlight, it exuded a hazy luster. Isn't it the puppy I just met on the roadside, Wong Wong? How is it here? Su Ba was a little puzzled, but seeing that such a small body had such a powerful explosive force, it directly knocked the late Samsung warrior to the ground, which shocked Su Ba in his heart. This puppy seems to have a very extraordinary origin, and it won't be the descendant of some kind of powerful spirit beast. In Su Ba's memory, in Xiantian continent, there are spirit beasts and alien beasts. Levels 1 to 9 correspond to warriors 1 to 9 stars. Alien beasts are ferocious and bloodthirsty, very aggressive, and basically impossible to tame. Spirit beasts are different, their natures are gentler than exotic beasts, and they are neither close to nor repulsive to humans. If a martial artist with experience in taming beasts uses special techniques to trap them, they will have the opportunity to tame spirit beasts and become warriors' mounts or combat partners. However, the number of spirit beasts is scarce and expensive, and most people can't even afford the leg hair of spirit beasts. Su Ba was thinking here, but the rough guard over there stood up angrily. Slot, where are the beasts, courting death? The rough guard whose anger was soaring to the sky was already out of his mind. With his long sword unsheathed, he was about to cut off Wong Wong with his red eyes. Slow. The skinny warrior on the right turned pale when he saw this, and quickly pulled the rough guard aside. Lu, what are you doing? Don't stop me. I'm going to kill him, the rough guard roared. Silly beep. Take a good look at it. What kind of dog is this puppy? If you really want to die, I won't stop you. The skinny guard scolded his face. What dog? Being scolded by the thin guard, the rough guard was slightly sober and looked over subconsciously. Check it out. His face turned white. It was as if someone had washed down his head with a basin of cold water, and he immediately woke up. The hand holding the long sword was trembling, and his mouth was tongue-tied. This is the cub of the white wolf Qing Emperor dog. It seems to be in the Wufu, that one's. Yes, it is the exclusive pet of Lord Qin Jiuyue, the core disciple of Yunmeng Wufu. That when the thin guard mentioned Qin Jiuyue, he looked in awe. The core disciples are the most talented and powerful group of people in Yunmeng Wufu. There are only a few in the entire Yunmeng Wufu. It is the key training object of the Yunmeng Wufu Palace Master. It is said that person, who is only 19 years old, has already broken through the 7-star master realm. Its status is even higher than that of the general Wufu elders. Not to mention, they are such janitors. Moreover, Qin Jiuyue is still the eldest lady of the Qin family, a top family in Fengwu Kingdom. How can they afford such a person? Fortunately you said earlier, or else. The rough guard touched the sweat on his forehead, and he was so frightened that he was sweating coldly. but just halfway through his words, it was as if someone pinched his throat, and his voice got stuck in his voice. The thin guard saw the panicked eyes of the rough mine guard, and followed his line of sight. Gudong, subconsciously, the thin guard swallowed dryly, she is here. Just look ahead. A tall and graceful figure is slowly walking towards here. Her appearance was astounding. She was dressed in a Sujin palace robe and covered with a light blue gauze. The breeze blew, the gauze fluttered, and the whole person exuded a faint aura. However, this time, this stunning woman's pretty face had a hint of coldness. She walked over, looked at the rough guard, and said lightly, "You, why did you take action?"